Welcome to The Peak, where becoming your best self is our goal. I'm Mike Mittman, and on this week's episode, a high school for teens struggling with addiction, an athletic trainer who put their training and knowledge to the ultimate test, and a local community college partners with Discovery Education. All that and more coming up on The Peak. Domaci, meaning home in Czech, was created by Derek and Warren Clark in 2015. Let's see how their business has grown over the years and why they love the Lehigh Valley.
Domaci aims to bring both quality and style to the Lehigh Valley through its carefully curated collections. Let's go check it out.
Domaci means home in Czech, and it's a home furnishings company based right here in Bethlehem, serving not only the local Lehigh Valley community, but our customers nationwide.
So if you've never been to Domaci or even the Lehigh Valley or Bethlehem, you can come in and you can see just a wide range of items that are unique and carefully curated, so it's a selection that you'll find nowhere else. So they're going to see a little bit of everything. I mean, we do try to capitalize on those people that love the Lehigh Valley and Bethlehem, especially with some local items that are specific to the area. But then we also have, heirloom quality furniture. We have those everyday essentials. So if you're visiting and you forgot your toothbrush, we've got a toothbrush for you.
I think I can honestly say we've lived in a lot of places across the U.S. and before we kind of found the Lehigh Valley, and the Lehigh Valley is truly like no place else.
We were actively looking for a home in the Philly area, happened upon Bethlehem, fell in love, and felt like it was the right place to live our dream.
We decided to create a space not only where people can come and shop, but also gather and kind of enjoy everything about their home within here. So what we decided to do was kind of break apart what people knew us as, and that was the creation of Domaci Market. We also created Home in addition to our design services and then Domaci Sleep. But we also, what people really knew us for at the beginning was our vintage collection, which happened by accident, and we didn't have money, so we decided to go to a couple of antique shops to buy some things. So we created Domaci Flea, which now lives down the street in a connection with Steel City Plant Co., a place called Plants Plus Vintage.
From the beginning, we've seen the community as an integral part of our success. So we give back whenever we can. So that's important to us, and the community has returned the favor by and large. There is a strong movement to support local businesses, but a lot of times people don't know that they can. We're not limited to what we show in the store. We can help them find that sofa that looks like the one at Restoration Hardware that they like, and they can still support local.
The advice I'd probably give to myself right before we started here is probably always be ready to change and to pivot.
I think change is the only constant in retail and running your own business in general. So you have to be prepared to change at the moment's notice, because your business is going to change, and don't be afraid to ask for help. You don't know everything. You may think you do sometimes, but you never do.
Derek and Warren believe that decorating your home shouldn't follow a strict set of rules, but instead creating a space that's colorful and comfortable. I'm Katie, and that was a peek at the Valley.
There are so many options and locations to choose from when shopping Domaci. Up next, how Kolbe Academy provides individualized academic programs in a safe and compassionate environment.
I'm a really quiet kid. I was in a big school with a lot of people. Like any freshman would do, I started exploring, started meeting new people, and those new people were not the right people. I was big in sports. I played basketball. I was a good basketball player. I actually tried out for the freshman basketball team, and I got cut. Got cut for the first time in my life, really. It was hard. I really didn't know how to take that because basketball was really what was keeping me together at the time. The reason I got cut was for my academics. I wasn't eligible. And then that brought me to a point in my life where I didn't really know what to do. I felt like I didn't have anyone. You know, I had a whole team behind me, which was my family, but I was so lost. So I started experimenting with opiates around the age of 13.
I really just thought that Peter was going through some normal 15-year-old angst during his freshman year of high school, and then started to see some other changes like sleeping all of the time. And then when he was awake, he was just not my boy, and he was angry at a lot of things. Finding Kolbe was just an intervention from God, I believe. I knew that Peter was going from a place where he was just a speck in sand in the middle of a million people to a place where he was going to be really the focus.
Kolbe Academy is the first faith-based recovery high school in the United States. We work with students that are in recovery from drug and alcohol addiction.
Immediately I started feeling welcome. I started to realize that this isn't that much of a school, more of family, and we look out for each other. And not just the students, but everybody. Everybody in this school has a relationship together.
It's a different atmosphere. Academics are top priority, but mental health and safety and caring for the child inside is really a close second.
We want to give our students the typical high school experience, even though we're not the typical high school. And what that means for us is not only are they getting the educational piece, but they're getting the counseling piece. 3 days a week, individual and group counseling. They have an opportunity to not only meet with their peers, but also one-on-one with our drug and alcohol counselor. We give them opportunities to meet other people in long-term recovery, people that have already fought the fight and are continuing to fight the fight. And these are all things that we believe will help mold them and keep them on the recovery journey. Almost 90% of people that are in long-term recovery say that the most important aspect of their recovery has been some kind of faith component, a spiritual being, a higher power. And for us, we're so proud that we're the first faith-based recovery high school, because not only are we helping students from an academic standpoint and emotional standpoint, but we're also helping them on a spiritual standpoint and helping them form who they are.
The difference of Peter is night and day. Our relationship has grown. We've both grown together.
I'm really thankful for Kolbe because he gave me a second chance at a new life. And I say that to Mr. P, my principal, all the time. He's given me a motivation to do the right thing. I just feel so much better now.
Such a critical resource to teens and families in need of support. Coming up, how a St. Luke's athletic trainer saved the life of a local high school wrestling coach. Stay tuned. This is The Peak. St. Luke's provides athletic training services to schools throughout the region. At Easton Area High School, their advanced training was put to the test. Let's see how.
March 10th of 2021 is a day that will definitely steep deep in my mind. You come to work every other day, you're thinking, I'm gonna prep kids for practice, we're gonna do some rehabs, we're gonna go out and watch practice. You never think you're gonna get called down to the wrestling room and see a face you know purple. One of the wrestlers came up and said, Coach Powell's down, we need you. The first couple of stairs I walked down, and after that it was a sprint.
I received a call from Coach Carroll, and he said, you need to come to the high school. And I said, is Steve okay? And he said, he went down. And I said, is he breathing? And they said they're working on him. So at that point I knew.
One of the things that athletic trainers prepare for are emergent situations, emergency situations, and the worst case scenario is when we have an athlete, and oftentimes it's someone in the athletic venue. That was the situation at Easton Area in March of this year, where former wrestling coach Steve Powell went into cardiac arrest.
So to keep your credentials as an athletic trainer, you need to maintain a CPR and first aid certification every 2 years. At St. Luke's, we work on different simulation labs every year to progress our skills to make sure we're hitting high standards.
We've leveraged our relationship with the medical school, our simulation lab at St. Luke's University Health Network, to have our athletic trainers go through regular training with our simulation director, Megan Augustine, and her staff, to make sure that they're prepared. They can do things with the mannequins, they can set scenarios that run the gamut, including cardiac arrest. And our athletic trainers go through in groups and train under those situations, so it's as real life as you can make it. And then they debrief afterwards. What went well? What could we do better?
When you get in that moment, you don't have time to think, Coach, can you hear me, bud? What do I need to do? It's just all those years of training, like, let me check his airway, his breathing, his circulation, what is there? And it's right into saving this man's life. Everybody did 30 compressions. I would say it was under 5 minutes until EMS was here. At that point in time, they put on their extra piece of equipment that did show his pulse did regain, and they were very relaxed. They're like, you guys saved this man's life. And that's one of those things for us that I think allowed us all to relax. Your emotions change, because I mean, it's a guy that we all know personally. You don't want his last moments to be in there in the room. To have more than one person there is a big part of why Coach Powell is still alive.
I had 3 stents before for blockages, and that went perfect. There was no, you just didn't think anything of bicycling 50 miles or whatever, and I could have been out in the road, out in the mountains somewhere, and luckily I was in the wrestling room where we had 5 or 6 trainers upstairs and was well taken care of, and there was a defibrillator machine there.
After it all set in and I talked to John Hoff of St. Luke's and I talked to our administration, I said they saved the rock star. They were rock stars today, and they saved the rock stars. In this area, everybody knows Steve. He's not only helped kids at Easton, he's impacted wrestlers and athletes all across the state of Pennsylvania.
It's nice when we can recognize, the great work of athletic trainers like Andrew and Tyler and Julia, because it's important for them to know, what they did was obviously exceptional in terms of exercising their professional skills, but you just need to think about what it meant to the Powell family, and it meant to the Easton family, and it meant to that community.
What bigger thank you can you say to somebody than, you put me back on my feet, you saved my life. Definitely humbling and in-depth experience that I owe you a lot.
I think it's big for our company, it's big for the profession that people see us as more than just tapers. That when these situations occur, we are ready to save lives. It's just one of those things like, when it's somebody you know personal, you want a happy ending.
Joining me today is Jim Reedy, the Athletic Training Residency Program Director at St. Luke's. Jim, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Ashley.
For people who don't know, what is an athletic trainer and what is it exactly that you do?
So the field of athletic training has really evolved and really started in the 1950s, but the last 20 years or so has really taken hold. And traditionally we're found in college setting, high school setting, but we're evolving into emerging settings like orthopedic environment, industrial medicine. So the field itself is focused on the prevention of injury, the management of injury, and a lot of that is the emergency care when injuries do occur, and then the rehabilitation of injury to get active individuals back to whatever their activity is, whether it's sports, whether it's just being a weekend warrior, whether it's their jobs, whatever they're doing that's keeping them active.
Sounds like there's a lot of extensive knowledge in a lot of different fields that is important in going into this career. So what kind of training do you receive, and what kind of training does St. Luke's give to athletic trainers?
Right, so the field has evolved, the educational side of the field, and really moving to the master's level within the next 4 years. So to get into the profession, you would need a master's degree. So within that training, there's 5 domains we really cover, which are really the prevention, the management, and then the rehabilitation. So there's a lot you need to learn within the profession. And getting into the profession just at the entry level, one of the things that we've done at St. Luke's is really bought into the professional development of our athletic trainers. We want to keep them progressing past their professional education. And that leads into, our transition to practice programs, our pre-residency programs, and then our residency programs that we're developing in the network.
Why is it important for an athletic trainer to go through a residency program like St. Luke's has, and what does that look like for patient care ultimately?
So the majority of athletic trainers, once they finish their professional degree and become board certified, they are out practicing more in the traditional settings. which again is your colleges, your high schools. The field is going down a similar route that PT has gone down, and physicians have gone down a long time ago, where there's so much to really know in medicine, especially in the world of athletic training. So this idea of specialization within the field of athletic training is really where the residency programs are focused. So our residency program here at St. Luke's really focuses on developing athletic trainers to practice with orthopedic physicians, really refines those skills to practice at an advanced level and really support access, quality, patient satisfaction, and collaboration with those physicians.
I'd imagine that the communication between all of those different team members that you mentioned at St. Luke's is really important. How does the communication work, and how does that help you do your job better, knowing that you're connected to physical therapists and doctors and nurses and all different types of people within the network?
Yeah, our department's really grown and the network's really embraced it. We're up to 140 athletic trainers now, between the different settings of industrial, normal, traditional outreach, and then the orthopedic setting. But collaboration in all those aspects is important. And really what the folks of St. Luke's is, and the folks of our department is to really affect the communities that we serve. We do a lot to collaborate with behavioral health or nutritional services or other services to really help make a difference in the community, outside of just taking care of athletes or active individuals.
Well, on behalf of other parents out there who have kids on the sports fields on a regular basis, we're so grateful that you're there. And I know that you have an influence over a large portion of our community. So we really appreciate you and your team at St. Luke's and the work that you're doing. Thanks for joining us, Jim.
Thanks so much.
Stay tuned. This is The Peak.
Lehigh Valley Reads is a collaborative program bringing awareness to the importance of reading and diverse representation in books. Let's hear Akshara's story.
Anjali, do you know we picked your name out especially for you? From the moment we saw you, we knew we needed a special name for a special girl. My name is Akshara Vivekanandhan. I'm the Assistant Director of Education at United Way of the Greater Lehigh Valley. Growing up, reading made me feel amazing. It was never an issue of getting access to books, but always wondering, whether one day I'll see a character that looked like me. I remember a few times where my grandparents, who were living in India at that time, would send me books with characters so I could learn about my culture and also see myself in those books. It wasn't until a few years ago, to be honest, where I started to realize that, hey, there are authors who are now starting to write books, illustrate books that had representation. She knew there was greatness in not being one of the crowd and vowed to always be Anjali. It becomes easier when you get your hands on a book that really inspires you. This country is a diverse country. It is a land of immigrants, and every child should be able to visualize themselves, see themselves in the books that they read. It's really important, and I think it's really crucial to building their identity.
NCC's partnership with Discovery Education provides valuable strategies for educators to engage their students in an online environment.
We're a college of the community. Community is our middle name, and we really need to have our ear to the ground to understand what the public, our community, our businesses, our students, our parents, our teachers need. We are a resource. We cover so many different bases for the community where we're offering so much relevant training and information. That's really our primary job here.
This new partnership with Discovery Education is so valuable because it represents the first time that Northampton Community College is offering on-demand 24/7 courses available for teachers and educators who may still be struggling in the classroom, help teachers who have been teaching online to refine their skills, and to help new teachers coming into the profession to learn best methodologies and teaching pedagogy for online instruction.
Well, we're very excited to partner with Discovery Education to help to upskill K through 12 educators in the online teaching world. And what individuals would be able to do is to go on our website, search Discovery Ed, and they can sign up for one course, for 2 courses, or for all 7.
What part of these courses will help teachers do is to try to engage students more directly in their online learning and how they interact with their fellow students in class and how they respond to teachers' queries and exams and things like that, how they have to function in this environment.
It's going to include 7 different modules that are all different topics about how to become the most effective online educator that you can be. And we've got very strong relationships with our school districts, both in Northampton County and up in Monroe County. And we really feel that offering this to all of these education professionals will just further strengthen our community, strengthen our relationship with the school districts, their relationship with the college, and really go a long way to serve the students that have had a difficult time this past year to go online when they didn't expect it due to the pandemic.
Hybrid learning is not going away. Online learning is not going away. And I think there are some real benefits to that. I would like for the community to see us as a resource for them, as a resource not only for personal enrichment and continuing education programs, but also as an opportunity to obtain Act 48 credit for continuing education unit credits in the state of Pennsylvania. My hope is that it will raise the visibility of the offerings that we have here at NCC and will be seen as a leading provider of high quality education and professional development for K-12 educators in the region and beyond. And also just being able to help those educators navigate the challenges that they've been facing and will continue to face for the foreseeable future. I've seen my own children and their friends struggle with online education, and there's some benefits and detriments to that. So for us here at NCC to be able to provide that sort of professional development and training to local educators and beyond is really exciting for us.
What a great partnership and resource for educators to ease into the transition of online learning. I'm Mike Mittman. Thanks for watching. To learn more about anything from today's show, go to our website at thepeaktv.com. And remember, every day is an opportunity to be your best self. This is The Peak. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you did. Do it more.
How many cars can drive by this road? It's 2 feet long. My check is very weak.
That's okay.
Oh, great Scott. Let's try it. I think she took him away.
Portions of this program were paid for by St. Luke's University Health Network.
The Peak TV is a production of ASR Media.
Hey, it's Katie. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos.
To see more of the Peak TV, check out our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and catch us on WFMZ Channel 69.